Hey guys, I'm Kent and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got another product from Kemimoto, and that is a 12-bar subcage for the 2022 Honda Grom. This kit actually required assembly. It came in a pretty small box. I didn't do an unboxing because I got, I believe, a pre-production kit, so I didn't know if that was the way that it would be when it's finally released. But it does come in a number of pieces that you need to assemble. You don't need many tools though. I think it was a 4mm, 5mm, and 6mm Allen key, as well as let's see, a 10mm and a 13mm wrench to put this together. So pretty easy to put together. It's a mix of materials, mostly aluminum with some steel parts. The scrape bar on the back here is aluminum and not titanium, so you're not going to get those awesome sparks if you're actually going 12 o'clock. Not that I ever did on any of the bikes that I had, but anyway, it's a pretty good looking kit. It's a lot smaller and thinner than some of the other 12-bar setups that I've put on other bikes, so it'll be interesting to see how it works. And obviously I'm not going to throw my bike around too hard to test the overall durability of it, but I'll put it on the bike and give you a lot of angles so that you can get a sense of what it would look like if you were stunting hard on it. Again, I think a lot of the parts probably would be able to carry my weight, but after enough crashes, I have a feeling, especially some of this aluminum, would have the propensity to bend. But I'm going to put it on the only 22 Grom that I have currently. This has the dual exhaust, so I'm going to remove them so that I can do the installation here, and again get a lot of different views on how it looks. Installation onto the bike itself should be pretty easy. There's just these 4 holes here that mount on the underside of the bike. I believe that I'll be able to run a license plate right here. I'm not sure how I'm going to get illumination on it though, so you know, some of the other things that you'd have to figure out if you're planning on running this long term. But let me pull this bike out, get this on, and take a look at how it fits onto the bike. Okay, so I pulled off the exhaust. This setup won't work if you're running dual high exhaust or even a single mount high exhaust, because the foot pegs that come out across the sides would definitely interfere with that. But for demonstration purposes, I pulled that off. I'm going to take off the seat. I'm currently running, I can't remember which tail tidy this is, but an aftermarket tail tidy that I'm going to unbolt, and this will bolt in that exact same place. So you'll be able to access the other side of the bolts, or there's bolts and then the nuts on the other side. You need to take off the seat to be able to access that. All right, so in here, I've got these 2 screws here and these 2 bolts here that I'll be removing. If you're running the stock setup, it's going to look a little bit different, but these are the mounting points that we're going to use the included bolts and nuts to install this 12-bar subcage. Okay, so I've got my tail tidy kit removed, and again, installing this is just a matter of lining these 4 holes up with the 4 holes here, using the supplied nuts and bolts that came with the kit. This would be a lot easier if I had a buddy, but let's see if I can make it work. All right, and that's it. So I was looking at the fact that there is space here. I think that if I wanted to, I could make these exhaust cans work. There is enough space, and it is just about high enough that it's clearing this rear peg. The problem is the spacing here without it hitting the, let me show you, without it hitting this part of the subcage. So I could angle it and put some spacers in and probably make it work. But for now, I'm not going to, since I'm not going to be running this long term on the bike. But if you do have a high mount system, it is possible to make it work. And again, if you look here, there's just enough clearance that the exhaust is coming out over the pieces here. The thing is, if you're stunting and you're jumping up and down on this, you're probably going to end up landing on the exhaust instead. So it's not really advisable unless you have this set up just as crash protection if your bike falls over. So I got this suspended here so I can try putting some weight on it. It feels relatively sturdy. And while this does look a little more anemic compared to some of the other 12 bars that I've tested, if you're really just looking to protect your bike from a crash, this will definitely prevent it from getting scratched up. I think if it took enough hits again, this will eventually bend depending on how hard you hit. This block on the back is aluminum, so this too I think will wear pretty quickly if you're scraping regularly. But if this is just you trying to get into stunting for the first time and don't want to lay down a lot of money on a kit to, again, just have that added sense of protection, this may be a solution for you. So then again, just a walk around so you can get a sense for how thick the material is and how it fits on the bike. The hangers here, you can see the thickness of them. And the pegs aren't particularly thick, but again, jumping around on them, they held my weight fine. I'm obviously a lighter rider at about 150 pounds. The kind of holes here, I think, also allow some see-through of the brake light, but from a rear position, this is up on stands right now, so you usually wouldn't be this low. I think usually you're looking at it like this, where you can't directly see the light, but here, let me turn it on. With the cutouts, you can see some of the rear. This is the running light, and then the brake light obviously is going to be a little bit brighter. But you know, I was talking about mounting a license plate. I would actually mount the license plate with the kit that I had. Let me just show you that. Kind of mocked up. You could use the same mounting holes to get that kit something like this, to also have a plate. This bar is optional. In the instructions it shows how you can run it or not. I would definitely run it, because without it, I'm not trusting just these braces to hold things together. But if you are running it, then it is harder to see the license plate. Although you could move it a little bit lower or make some other adjustments to have that configuration work for you. Okay, so hopefully this quick overview was helpful to you if you were interested in this product. Appreciate Kemimoto sending this to me to review on this channel. If you're interested in winning this actual one, I'll be giving it away. I'm not sure when this video is actually being posted because I'm recording this pre-release date of the product, but for 7 days after the release of the video, if you leave a comment about the product or anything that you want, I'll randomly select one of those commenters to win this, and I'll get this shipped out to you. So anyway, I appreciate everybody very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and keep on building.